Athletes, gone are the days in which you need centralized leagues like the NFL, the NBA, or the MLB in order to quote unquote make it as an athlete and be financially successful and be free. I want you guys to think about what I'm about to tell you as another league. I call this the introduction to the professional social media athlete. So here's the formula. It's your athleticism plus content creation plus entrepreneurship plus financial literacy equals athlete freedom. And in this episode, I'm going to document my path and I'm going to explain a couple other business models, a couple other ways to monetize your athleticism, right? Because, before social media blew up, took off, and there's a ton of opportunities to build wealth with social media, we were at the whim of having to make it to the NFL, NBA, or your professional league. But now that's not the case. And sure, it might not be a $26 million a year contract, but it could be, $3 million a year, $1 million a year, $200,000 a year, $300,000 a year, a whole range on the spectrum. So it doesn't even have to be you're a multi-millionaire. It's just about freedom. So what most athletes did and do, are they build all of these skills throughout their middle school, high school, college, if you make it to college, and they try to make it to, let's say, the NFL, and then, they just don't get the call. They don't make it to the league. What most people do, all right, I guess now it's time to get a real job, a 9-to-5, which again, in this, I don't want to make it seem like getting a 9-to-5 job is necessarily a bad thing, but I do want to paint you a different picture and give you some options that I think would be better. It's silly to develop all of those skills in your sport, your physique, your body, your mind state, because athletes have ironclad mind states and mentalities. That is very valuable out there in the real world. So now, instead of just shifting to a completely different field and having to start at zero, why don't we use those skills and continue and make money from them, okay? So, all right, that sounds interesting, Chris. How do we do that? I want to paint my path. So I was a Division I football player for the University of Buffalo. I transferred around, but I ended up at University of Buffalo, ended up getting a full ride scholarship there. And my last year earned that scholarship. And I wanted to go to the NFL. So I was training at these combine camps. I was training on my own, but I didn't get the playing time at Division I. I was a special teams player. I didn't start at receiver, so it was going to be tough. And then COVID hit. So all the combine camps shut down. But at that time, I've developed my body. I started my in-home personal training business, and my social media started to take off, right? Because my TikTok, Instagram started to blow up. Everybody was inside on their phones during COVID. There was nothing to do. So social media just took off. And I was able to start monetizing that way. Then I was training at the gym and I was doing my box jumps, just casually training for the NFL, just trying to stay explosive was just part of my training. And someone shouted out, "Oh, that must be a Guinness World Record." And at this point, I never even thought about it. So I went to him and we looked at his phone and it was only 3 inches higher than what I was just casually doing at the gym right there. So right then and there, I was like, one, how awesome would it be to be number one in the world at something? And number two, I could use this to gain attention from NFL teams. If I could break the Guinness World Record, get some exposure. So 7 months later, I break the Guinness World Record. And although it didn't gain the attention from NFL teams, it gained the attention of everybody else. And it went crazy viral on Good Morning America and SportsCenter, ESPN. Social media just ate it up and just blew up, took off. And I had a decision to make. Do I want to continue to chase the NFL dream when the combine camps shut down and I'm already years out of college? Or do I pivot? So I pivoted and started really investing my time in my business. My business is my in-person business and my online training coaching business. Now, before I broke the Guinness World Record, right before, I knew that I didn't think it was going to go that viral, but I knew it was going to gain some attention. So I created my first digital product, the World Record Jump Program. It was a PDF file then, just a simple PDF file program. And I sold it thinking that, all right, if I break this Guinness World Record, people are going to want to know how I train to jump. So I'm just going to give them my program. And it blew up, and that made me a lot of money. And it also opened my eyes up to, wow, you put in work for, a couple months creating this program once, and now you could sell it infinitely. The leverage, the scale, the freedom. So digital products is only one way that you can monetize. But as the years passed and I went further and further into business and my social media grew, there were other ways that I could monetize. I can monetize through brand deals. I can monetize let's just talk about content creation. It's like infinite lottery tickets. Every single time you post, it just takes a little bit of your time, but the results, the upside is infinite. Would you take a bet where it's your time, might take you 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, but the upside is infinite? It's like, here's a $10 bet. If you win, you get $100,000. If you lose the $10. Take that bet every single time and twice on Sunday, right? So that's how I think of content. Infinite lottery tickets. Why? Because I posted every day for like 5 years straight without any intention of this has to be my main thing. This has to make so much money. It was a passion at first, and then it grew into, wow, this can actually support me. So from one piece of content, you have the possibility of getting paid through Instagram, TikTok, YouTube directly through creator funds or the ad revenue, rev share from YouTube and things like that. So directly from the platform. You have the opportunity to sell digital products and make money from selling your product. You have the potential of partnering with big brands and they want to give you sponsorships and brand deals. So right there, and then you also have affiliate marketing on top of that. There's so many ways to monetize content. So let's go back. What was our formula? Your athleticism plus content creation plus entrepreneurship plus financial literacy equals athlete freedom. So we have your athleticism part. We have the content creation part covered. The entrepreneurship, what I documented, what I just told you about my path was I created my in-home personal training corporation, and through building a business, and I would do an online business personally, looking back, to gain my location freedom. That's something that I would change, and I would suggest that if you guys are going to start a business, try to start it online, because then you can arbitrage the US dollar and pesos and different currencies, which we'll have a whole separate episode in, because I think that's a major key to freedom in life now. But I digress. We have to understand that there's infinite lottery tickets that comes with content, and through entrepreneurship, you are able to stop tying your time directly to your money, and you can gain some leverage, right? Because at my personal training corporation, I charge whatever I charge, and the market will allow me to charge more if my product and service is a good service. So I did an in-home personal training corporation. For you, it might be an online business. It might be a YouTube channel. It might be a youth mentorship program using your discipline that you've learned from your years of dedicating yourself. You could be a model because your physique. A lot of athletes have a great physique, right? Because you were training for years. So you could pivot into modeling, fitness modeling, and then lifestyle modeling, gain connections in entrepreneurship and modeling, and boom, before you know it, now you have a full-on, you're a well-known, wanted model that are getting paid just to go and show off your physique and your looks. community building, building an app, in-person athlete events. There's so many possibilities and business models that we'll get into in future episodes, and maybe I'll bring on athlete guests on those episodes that have actually done those things. I think that would be very helpful for you guys. So that's the entrepreneurship piece. This last piece, financial literacy, this is one of the most interesting things about this formula, I think. Most people don't have the time or the mental bandwidth in order to learn what money is, learn how to compound your money, learn what compound interest is, learn where money comes from, learn what inflation is, currency debasement, learn what assets and liabilities are. Understanding these fundamental things in our modern system here in America and a lot of other places as well, it can save you years of you could be working as hard as you can, but if you're going uphill instead of downhill, it's going to be a lot harder, right? So it's kind of like a work smarter and harder type of situation, but definitely work smarter, because there are a lot of hardworking people out there that make minimum wage. And, people that work harder than me. But my brain works harder. You can speed up the process to freedom so much. You can skip ahead of years, the previous generation. My parents are amazed at some of the things and how I navigate because they just didn't have access to this information. It used to be gate kept, and they used to have to actually go to libraries and take out a book and know what book to take out and actually read and comb through. Like now we just ask ChatGPT, we ask Grok. We can just go on our phones. We can look on TikTok. We have so much information out there. So we need to learn financial literacy so we know what investments are smart. Learn how to arbitrage the different currencies and understand how different locations offer different amounts of freedom. And the US dollar is very powerful compared to other currencies. So earning in US dollars and spending in pesos is an excellent idea. And that goes into the lifestyle setup, the life setup type of situation where you can really, where in America you might have to give like 1.5 mil to retire comfortably. I know that sounds low to some people. It sounds high to some people. You do the math, you can probably comfortably retire 1.5 mil now. And that'll go up over time because of inflation. But, places like Colombia, you can retire for like $300,000-$400,000 and then just let your investments ride and live off of, the 4 or 5, 6% rule. I mean, when I went to Colombia, me and my 2 friends, it was 3 of us, we got 3 filet mignons, 1 for each of us. We got 3 risotto with balsamic vinaigrette reduction, delicious, and 3 cocktails for $24. Not per person. $24 total bill for all 3 of us. That's $8 a person. And it wasn't bad food. Like it was amazing filet mignon. It was amazing food. Great risotto. So there's so much more out there. Expose yourself to learning about these different things, learning about how entrepreneurs roll, learning about financial literacy. So to sum up this section, the formula is your athleticism plus content creation plus entrepreneurship plus financial literacy equals freedom. So in future episodes, like I said, we'll go over different business models in more depth, but I wanted to introduce you to the profession of the professional social media athlete and thinking of it as its own separate league. Gone are the days where you have to go to the NFL, NBA, or MLB and rely on these centralized leagues in order to make money from your athleticism. There's a different way. I've done it. This is how I've done it. And stay tuned for more because we're going to be going in depth and helping athletes live a life of freedom so that they can travel the world, be financially free, location free, time free, help their parents, retire their parents, and live a life that is holy, godly, universally, if that's a word, and a life that they're proud of. So that's it for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.